So we are going to do a bit of practice of the skills that we need for integration recap, because this is just going to prepare us really well for this chapter, and it's going to prepare us well to then do some of the more problem-solving type things that we've got later. So we're going to need to know how to do these things. I know some of these are pretty fresh for us because we're just learning about integration, but what's the integral of cos theta? Sine theta plus c, okay? Sine 3 theta is going to be, we just did that one, didn't we? Minus a third cos 3 theta plus c. So obviously sine goes to minus cos, and you've got to divide by the third for that as well. Pretty obvious here, but you know that you can do them as two separate bits. So we already know that sine 3 theta, I've just done, is a third cos 3 theta. But we've now got to integrate minus 2 cos 5 theta. So it's going to be what, do we think?
Minus 2 over 5 sine 5 theta.
Good. Minus 2 over 5 sine 5 theta plus c. Those ones are pretty straightforward, okay? Those are just like the baby bits of integration. But we're going to have now a look as they change a bit. So I asked you for pure maths to memorize the rearranged double angle formulae. I said that these are on that memory page I created for you guys. These come from the fact that cos 2x is equal to 2 cos squared x minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So you need to think about how these would rearrange to find out what cos squared and sine squared are. You need that a lot in normal maths because you can't integrate this by itself, and it's to do with the reverse chain rule, but we're exploring that at the moment in maths, and you guys will, we can't integrate these. So you have to use the rearranged double angle formula. There is no choice about this. If you're doing further maths, you need to memorize those two, because you're going to, every time there's integration with polar coordinates, it's basically going to be used, I would say, but I would say nearly all the time. So the integral of cos squared theta is going to actually be the integral of a half plus a half cos 2 theta. The mistake that people usually make here is they don't double the angle, but you obviously have got to double the angle that you've got, and that's d theta. Can I just quickly point out the way I like to memorize these? Sometimes people write it as a half cos 2x plus a half. I prefer doing a half plus a half cos 2x because it mirrors the one with sine, and then all you need to remember is that sine is the one that goes with the negative. So when I integrate this, I'm just going to have a half theta and what? And a quarter sine 2 theta plus c. So then I'm going to do a sine squared theta, which I know is the same as a half minus a half cos 2 theta, d theta, which is just going to go to a half theta minus a quarter sine 2 theta plus c. And then what is sine squared 5 theta going to be rewritten as? A half minus a half cos of 10 theta. Oh, 10 theta. You've got to make sure you're doubling the angle. It's a rearranged double angle formula. Don't be that person who just replaces it with the same argument as before. And that's d theta. So again, you get a half theta. And the next bit? 1 over 20. Sine 10 theta plus c. I don't even think they do. I think in further maths, they don't even worry about if you haven't got the plus c. I don't think. I'm not sure. Just do it anyway. You're not really going to be asked in further maths to integrate this, because when we do it with polar, you're going to have limits, right? And so you won't have the c in there. Okay, can I go on to the next one? Yeah, because the next one's similar to that anyway. So this time, I've got 1 plus cos 2 theta squared. Now, the reason I'm doing 1 plus cos 2 theta squared is because when you're integrating using polar, you're going to do a half r squared d theta. And r might be 1 plus cos 2 theta. So this is the kind of thing you're going to be coming across in a question. The reason I'm looking at all of these squared bits is because of this r squared that we have. It's going to be coming up so many times that we need to get into the habit of how we do this. Now, when you have something that's squared like this, what do you think we need to do? You have to expand it. There's no choice. You've got to expand this. So that's going to be 1 plus 2 cos 2 theta plus cos squared 2 theta d theta, which is going to be 1 plus 2 cos 2 theta And cos squared 2 theta is going to be a half plus a half cos 4 theta d theta. So obviously the 1 and the half is 3 over 2. So when I integrate it, it's going to be 3 over 2 theta. I've just added that 1 and the half together there. 1 plus a half is 3 over 2, and then I've integrated it as well. I'm just trying to save some of my virtual ink here. 2 cos 2 theta. What's that going to integrate to? Good. Sine 2 theta. And then I've got a half cos 4 theta. Plus c. So what I'm wanting to do here is do all the integration as like a separate thing, so that when we do the whole questions, the integration part we're not even worried about, we're just doing integration. Can I have that? I've got a spare one, or you can just take the pages you need, okay? If you want it. So last one, expand the brackets. What do they expand to? 1 plus 2 sine 3 theta plus sine squared 3 theta d theta. So it's going to be 1 plus 2 sine 3 theta plus a half minus a half cos 6 theta d theta. Pardon? No, remember it's the double angle, it's always going to be cos. It doesn't match what you have, it's always going to be cos because it comes from the cos double angle formula. So I've got my 1 and my half, which is 3 over 2. So again, I'm going to get a 3 over 2 theta. I've then got a 2 sine, oh, I haven't integrated that. So it's going to be 2 over 3 cos 3 theta, and it needs to be negative. And then this last part, it's definitely going to be a 12th sine 6 theta, and it's minus as well. Yep. And then there's just one more that we're going to try at the bottom of the page. If you're still writing it down, keep going. Otherwise, start writing what you think it's going to be for the next one. So it's basically the same thing, really, isn't it? I'm just going to start working through this one myself, and you guys can see if you get the same thing. So I'm going to have 4 plus 12 cos 5 theta plus 9 cos squared 5 theta d theta. 4 plus 12 cos 5 theta plus 9 half plus a half cos 10 theta. Hopefully you've got to that sort of stage, or you're coming up to that stage soon. So I think you should have 17 over 2 theta, sine 5 theta 12 over 5, and then minus 9 over 20, I didn't mean to. Sine 10 theta plus c. Yeah? Just a little thing that you could do if you wanted to. At this stage here, if you wanted to, you could have taken the half out to the front and had 17 plus 24 cos 5 theta plus 9 cos 10 theta. The only reason I might recommend doing that is because if this had limits, it's quite nice to have a half in it, because when you're doing limits with just integers, it's just a lot easier to type things into the calculator, and then you can just deal with the half at the end if you wanted to, okay? So I'm just going to stop us at this bit for integration, because the next bits we're going to be doing are actually in problems as well.